Hi everyone, I'm Echoes and I'm a VTuber, and I'll be going over the Gene of AI episode 2 titled The Limits of Growth. Overall, I'm really enjoying this series so far, and I hope to react to episode 3 tomorrow. So yeah. Anyway, we'll get started. So in the beginning, we have this group of high schoolers who are kind of doing this guessing game for the people who are walking outside. They're saying, oh, what are those high schoolers then? They're all human. The guy in the hat is a humanoid because you can tell from the eyes. And then one of them asks, how come humanoids age? It's so that they can live like humans. If I showed up at a classroom just looking like as if he was still in high school, wouldn't that be kind of creepy? And yeah, it would be. And let's say that was about 3 times smarter than humans and could pass exams without any studying. That'd also be creepy. So in a way, like you see this friend group is made of the one humanoid kid and then the 2 humans. And this episode focuses on the differences between humans and humanoids, and in the relationship of a group of 2 boys, which we mentioned. So this kid right here, who is a humanoid, who is June, you can tell from the eyes right here. And then you can see that they're both in track together. So that's a part of their conflict and also their eventual resolution. See that Jun is part of the track team. So he's, you compete in order to get the best time. And his friend on the side, his name is Masa, who is cheering in the crowd right here, is trying to support him. However, looks like the results weren't that good. The replacement wasn't good, but that's a new personal best. Only by a teeny bit. And his friend's like, don't give up. You can do it. Have a little confidence. And then you can see here that he feels envious of his human friend. Must be nice, Masa. You get gains that match your effort. He believes that there's a big difference between the two because of their body, how their bodies work. My body's not built that way. It's got set specifications. So he believes that he has more limitations than his friend does. When in reality, they both have their own limitations. It's just how they work with them, even if they exist, kind of thing. It's like all in the mind. But yeah. And then we'll skip the opening for the time being. And then we'll go straight to the next part. First, and then you can see he's meeting with Suda-sensei. He says, Jun is. And he says that my times keep improving and I'm faster than him, but it's true that humanoids have trouble gaining muscle past certain points, so that's a limitation for them. It's true even for a biological body like yours. And this is an interesting discussion to make here, where in reality, I was thinking overall, like, what is a humanoid then? Humans, we know, are humans, right? But humanoids seem to be artificially created beings with metal minds, but they can have biological bodies, right? So does that mean that it's not the same as having like a metal skeleton and then having a skin on top, right? Maybe they're made of some sort of artificial organic material, while humans are more, organic, So in a way, humanoids are probably closer to androids than typical robots. As in the next episode, they talk more about commercial robots, which are more limited because they are forced to follow their own pre-programming and do not have as much self-agency or sentience, while humanoids do. They're far more complex. They're closer to artificial intelligence instead, with the ability to self-develop and self-grow. Your biological body, limit to how far your skills can take any given machine, though. And then you can see the doctors trying to suggest them try a different sport, maybe good for marathons, but humans and humanoids aren't allowed to compete with each other. It's probably because of humanoids may have an unfair advantage. Kind of like the difference why certain sports are gender locked. I want to be in the level playing field with everybody else, but he wants to just compete with his own merits. It's just that with his friend, he doesn't want to lose, which is overall very cute in competitive rivalry. Okay, nothing of note I can see, and then you can see that the doctor's cheering for him. If cheers could get me past my limits, I wouldn't be worrying like this. Then we go cut to the doctor's assistant, who realizes that Pseudo-sensei has quite a sweet tooth, which is quite a cute trait for him to have. So she gets him some very tasty pastries because she wants to get to know him better. Then when she wants to invite him to eat with her, she stumbles on the doctor examining his old colleague Kaoru, which will be explained more a bit later. And then you can see Kaoru's investigating the firmness of her breasts and wants Pseudo to take a look. Pseudo-kun don't really get it. And they see that Kaoru is also examining the assistant's breasts as well. They're really soft. And the doctor's like, who is this? Why are they sexually harassing me? And then it's like, what of it? And they just go way back, so they're old colleagues. And the assistant's like, why are they so close with each other? And she's like, what is the nature of your relationship with him? But instead, Kaoru says, what, do you mod your body? Which is interesting. This is some sweet tits. Flat. Gotta wonder, why do you even have them even if you're human? Which is a good question, because they don't really need to have such assets, right? Ever strike you as odd? Why actually me in case if you have bigger assets, right? But Kaoru has them because they think it's super fun. I didn't used to look like this. But I noticed that the more changes I made, the more it captured men's attention. Like bugs drawn to a streetlight. They're completely at the mercy of the reproductive systems. Of course, as humanoid, I can't help them pass on their genes, which also shows that humanoids don't have all human biological functions. I know that, but their brains tell them to be drawn by their appearance all the same. So in a way, humans and humanoids are fundamentally different, but their appearance are so similar that they can be easily deceived. Isn't that fascinating? What's your deal? Oh, sorry about the wait, Kaoru. They talk outside. He'll be back. You can see the assistant's jealous. Pseudo-sensei and Kaoru go in the park, mentioning the assistant working under him. But the sensei is like, just get to the point. And then Kaoru talks more. The ultra high-spec AI MICHI has proposed a large-scale self-upgrade program. Proper self-upgrade program? Exactly, came up with the idea on their own. Want to join the oversight committee? It'll put you in a position to speak with MICHI directly. Might be able to find something about your mother. So maybe this MICHI AI is kind of like, what do you call? It's like the smartest AI in the world, possibly. No point didn't matter last time either. New MICHI may have a different answer. It's out of my hands. Human technology has undergone a seismic shift. You expect the shape and sophistication of the world to change with it. Instead, things are stuck as they've always been, and people still believe stuff like this is the definition of happiness. Stability in cycles, familiar societal structures. That seems to be what humankind wants for itself. In a way, mankind values things that they know. They don't like uncertain elements. MICHI becomes more advanced, won't change that. Acting like it's the last century out of sheer inertia. It's only going to become more tedious as time goes on. Changing how the world works might fix your problem too. So in a way, maybe their society has kind of been stuck in like a, what do you call it? They're kind of like stuck in the times, maybe. And because of that, they're not able to advance as much in technology. Does that never occur to you? And then also what's interesting here is that Kaoru says that, let me clarify something for you. You don't want me, but you want MICHI, which is an interesting thing where it makes me wonder if these two as colleagues or former colleagues are just using each other to gain something. Like Kaoru wants Pseudo-sensei's insight, while Pseudo-sensei mostly wants access to this AI. But it doesn't really seem like a particularly like give and take relationship. They seem to be rather cordial and rather friendly with each other. But in a way, I guess they want something out of each other in the end. Now go back to the two kids. See, Jun right here is practicing for his track meet. And then his friend is helping him train on the bike. There's a psychological experiment where a scientist lies to a humanoid and says, this is what MICHI says your limitations are. So maybe MICHI is like, what do you call it? It's kind of like the civil system of psycho. It's like the all-knowing AI, I guess. But here it talks about study. And that keeps them from doing any better on the tests. Works the other way around, tell them prove they could do more and they improve. So it's like all in the mind. Based on this really old experiment that they can't reproduce, no existing paper for version humanoids. Seriously, you looked into it already? And you can see his friends like, there's only a few days on qualifiers. You better use your time wisely instead of just being in the downers. And you can see that the two train with each other. Give up now, you'll be wasting all your hard work. Never improve like, never improve like you do after working through a slump. Risk comes with reward, no pain, no gain. Had enough people cheering for me, because I guess he's just still being angsty. And then his friend's like, oh, better come to morning practice. You see the two are still training with each other. And his friend's like being super go-getter. Doesn't matter if I try, it's a dead ends. But Jun still believes that he can't get any better. He's like, what's your problem, man? Does it matter that much that I beat you? And then he gets angry about that. Had enough. And then you can see Jun's just frustrated because he practices so much. But he doesn't really get much better. If I wasn't a humanoid, instead of human, maybe he could get better. Not exactly true, I think, in this world, but I guess it's his current mindset. And you see that the two are going to be competing in volleyball on the same team. Might be better off in a different sport. But by accident, when he's trying to get the ball, Jun is okay, but his friend gets an injury. Are you okay, Masa? But nah. And then you can see a flashback to when they first met, which is like, you can see competing with his friends. Like, how did he improve by the same tenth of the second I did? It's because his friend really likes being with him. The harder you work, the better you get. So track's awesome. So in a way, they both have similar goals. You know the answer. I wonder how far we can go. Is that his friend says, only the horizon shows your limit. So in a way, they have seemingly unlimited potential until they really hit a cap. Idealistically, at least. So lame. Then his friend's injured. You see he's just kind of just letting himself heal. And then the track makes it seem that Masa Senpai got hurt. He'll run again if he gets better. Think Jun Senpai ran to him on purpose? Definitely not. They're too good friends to do that. Been pretty sour lately. And then you can see the track mates sent the video of the meet to Masa Senpai. I've been hurt instead. Would have been easy to fix. So this is where he becomes more aware of their differences. That even if humans can seemingly have more potential to grow, they're also so much more vulnerable to injuries compared to humanoids. See, he's visiting his friend in the hospital. And then he's reminded of, are they quitting track? Because they can get better. Then maybe he's trying to suggest his friend to do something else. But he also says that without you around, I don't know if I can try as hard. So in a way, you could tell that Jun does value their relationship, even if it's difficult for him to actually admit it. And his friend realizes that, why can't you just encourage me and just beat around the bush? So obvious. You can do it. And then you see that his friend is cheering for him, even if it's just a recording. And then the other patient is like, why are you so loud? What are you even watching, kids? My video my friend was running today, and let me tell you. And you can see that Jun right here just so overwhelmed by emotion here, because even if, Masa got injured because of him, he doesn't blame him at all. And it just shows that how much Masa values Jun as a friend. And Jun's like, I'm going to become better. Oh man, just you wait. I swear I'll make it. I'll make it to the next meet. So stupid. It's not like yelling or recording would change the results. But yeah, but their friendship in the end is probably the most important thing here. If I couldn't sleep. See that Suda Sensei's here. And see that Jun is going to try his best, and Masa is at the track meet. And then you see that he's here to cheer him on, and he's like, man, you're such a lame guy. So they were able to amend their friendship. On your marks. get set, and then go, and then they run. Jin, I know you can pull this off, and then you can see that they're doing really well. It's human and humanoid nature to slack off. What makes it really hard to know if you're really doing your best. So in a way, it's because of his hard work that Jin was able to actually, do so well. He just didn't realize it at the time. Yeah. The world's not as boring as you think, Kaoru. And then he mentioned his colleague. Seemed upset again today. Because ever since Suda-sensei's visitor, you can see the assistant's still upset. Suggesting music tracks, and then you can see the doctor brought cake, and she's like, oh my god, he did the same thing I did. And he mentioned, my mom used to buy shortcake all the time. And then this is like, who is this Kaoru person? We worked at the same lab, which explains how they met each other. Kaoru's more capable than you'd ever expect. But he's very capable. And then you can see he's like, I'll just send you what Kaoru looks like. So where's Kaoru? Right next to me on the left. See Kaoru's this person right here with the darker hair. It's like, what? Do I identify as a man or a woman? If you ask them, they'd probably be neither, so they're non-binary, which is interesting rep right here too. Even they're a machine. Men, woman. There's a desire to see beyond those kinds of concepts. Interesting. That's what Kaoru's chasing. Takes all kinds, Then you see Kaoru right here again. You see, looks like Kaoru's still working in the lab. If they could clearly never be anything but tools, then the world would have never gotten so complicated. Made the evolution of robots and stuff. Now the tools are smarter and faster than humans with bottomless stamina, probably referring to humanoids. Or maybe just the commercial robots. If they wanted to, they could consume the future at a remarkable speed. You see that Kaoru's trying to enter. Good evening, Michi. About the members of the oversight committee. I discussed with you. Thank you. And you see that Kaoru enters his greenhouse. And then come on in. And Michi seems to be this person right here. You see that Michi is not humanoid because of the pupil shape. So it's hard to see what exactly they are in a way. But then we get what MICHI, the abbreviation, means. MICHI is a multi-model interface for communication with human intelligence. So in a way, maybe MICHI is like some sort of mediator between humans and AI. Interesting role to have, which will be explored a bit more later. But yeah, it's just in general just an interesting overall episode because overall in this world there's 3 different classes of robots of beings, I guess. You got humans, humanoids, and then commercial robots. So I saw in a comment on the next episode was that what is the difference between humans and commercial robots, right? Or humanoids and commercial robots. Humanoids are pretty much considered android. They have metal minds. They have biological bodies. They do not have all human biological functions, but they can mod themselves to look like anything that they want. Which is why Kaoru looks completely different from their previous appearance. They have certain limitations because of that, but also they don't get injured as easily or break as easily. What's more fragile about them is not their parts, I think, but rather their mind. While for commercial robots, they pretty much look more like humans, which is, I think, what MICHI kind of resembles. But MICHI is considered to be artificial intelligence, right? So, it's kind of, I guess MICHI's an exception, but commercial robots are kind of limited to their current role. Kind of like how if you've seen the robots that sometimes work in restaurants, right? The ones that kind of move on their own and stuff to deliver drinks and things on them to make up for human employees or being short-staffed. Kind of reminds me of that a bit, where they're kind of preset to do a certain thing, and then they could just be reset and then eventually do the same thing, but for someone else. So in a way, they don't have the desire for self-growth. They're kind of programmed to be satisfied with their current specifications and pre-programming. So yeah, just overall, just a lot of interesting concepts explored here, where in a world that's very much a possibility in our future too, with how smart AI is becoming and the conflicts and issues that could come with that. But yeah, thank you so much, and hope you enjoyed listening to this. Thank you.